about to embark on a conversation that I'm very excited about. Joining us now is one of the, men that is tasked with shaping what sports gambling is going to look like legally in America. He and Amy Howe have been a tag team for FanDuel as they have trotted up the mountaintop to success in the sports gambling world in the United States here early in its development. CMO of FanDuel, ladies and gentlemen, Big Mike Raffensberger.
Yeah, big boy!
What's up, dude?
Boys, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. Thank you so much for coming. You look incredibly handsome. We saw a photo on the internet.
Yeah.
This is my first time meeting you in person, I believe, right? No,
That's not true. You've been to the New York office. But this is the first time I've been here, and I've been to the studio, and I've been able to spend time with you guys this morning, which has been fun.
We are very thankful you came out here, and we're very thankful for our relationship with FanDuel, obviously. I think it's the reason why it's good is because we are still trying to beat you. Like, we are a different entity than you guys are, but we get along well. And a lot of that is because of how you've handled the relationship. So I would like to compliment you here early on how you've done it. Now, going forward, it seems like this is a very difficult challenge. A lot of people are trying to get in the sports gambling world. Why do you think FanDuel has had some success here early as everybody is kind of diving into this? There's like 40 of them at one point.
Oh, yeah.
There was like 24/7, Bet this, MGM this, Lion that. Like everybody was in it. Why do you think FanDuel has had success early here, and is every day like stressful as hell for you?
Look, man, I wake up every day and I work at the intersection of sports, games, and gambling. My life is pretty good. There's stressful. Yeah, there's stressful days, but like I'm a fortunate guy. Thank you for the kind words. Why do I think FanDuel is the number one sports book in America? Not by a little, by a lot. We're about 50% bigger than the next closest guy in the field.
Good for you guys.
Look, I think it starts with we have the best product. Like we do. Like it is consistently rated number one. It's the number one in the App Store. And that's both like the grace notes of the user experience where you're actually just going into the app and finding a bet that you like, and also feature differentiation where we've had same game parlays and we keep building on that feature that people really like. It just is consistently the biggest breadth of things that you can bet on. It's the easiest way to bet. And we have innovation on things like Spread the Love, which is actually something we developed in partnership with you, which would be the second reason I really say FanDuel has emerged as the leader. Is I think we've formed really smart partnerships, you being our most important. And it's been a great thing that we've done, together with you and the guys where, and to your point, like we don't own the show. We're separate entities, but we're business partners.
Yes.
And I have had many times, we talk literally multiple times a week, where you have suggested bets or odds or features or things. Spread the Love was the thing we developed together where the more people bet on a market, the bigger the spread got, and it essentially turned to free money. It
started as team betting. I wanted to do team betting. I was like, how do we do team betting? How do we make it even bigger?
We're the first company in America to do crowdsourced betting. That's what I call it when I talk about it. Like, that's awesome. And you have made our product better. And in a humble way, I hope we've made the show better, where we help create content and make odds and be able to talk about things and give you guys a richness to talk about. That's one example, but we've also done things with Charles Barkley and the TNT Studio Gang on NBA programming. I think it's the best sportsbook integration in live sports anywhere. I'm really proud of the work that we do.
Well, Chuck is actually a good gambler.
Chuck has been known to place a couple sports bets. He enjoys our relationship.
He is a gambler.
He's a gambler.
Good gambler. So that helps it make sense. I think that's why it works with us so good. But like whenever we send something or an idea to you, and we work with a lot of companies, and when we try to send an idea to them for something like, hey, this would be a cool special if we could do this or pull this off or deal, you guys seem to be much more open to it. But we have gotten to experience a lot more than everybody else, like the regulators in the legalized world. Because back in the day, whenever it was offshore and everybody had a bookie maybe, or they're working something, you could place bets on Gatorade shots with people. You could place bets on, I remember we were doing at one point a bowling. I won bowling, and people were able to bet on if I would score above 130 or below 130. Got like 171 or something.
Yeah, not bad.
Best round I've ever rolled in my entire life was for that one. But with the regulations and with there really being no blueprint for this entire thing, how much of it is like dealing with the regulators and how much of it is dealing with like new states coming in as opposed to just the fun that is sports gambling? Because for us, we just pitch like, hey, I think we should maybe boost Sidney Crosby scoring and the Pens winning. That'd be fun. You're like, we can make that happen. Yeah. I just got off the phone with a fucking senator from Kansas. Okay, we were also trying to get in there. How much of that type of stuff do you guys have to think about on day to day? And what is it like working in a world with no blueprint? Like you have no idea what the next state could be. You have no idea what the next regulations could be. New York, different than Indiana on the regulations. New Jersey, different than every other state. Like, how much is it like dealing with every single day of everything being brand new all the time, which is what the sports gambling world is?
So, look, on the regulatory front, it's a lot. I would say, FanDuel is at the forefront of bringing legalized gambling to states all over the country. I am really proud of what we've done. We actually just led an initiative in California, which will be by far the biggest sports betting market in the United States.
It's going to come?
Well, we just led the effort to get the signatures required to put it on the ballot in this November.
Hey, congrats. Here we go. Signatures, boots on the grind.
Anybody listening in California, you will have a chance to vote directly on legalized online sports betting, coming to California.
Get out and vote.
Let's get out and vote.
Go vote.
Get out and vote.
Rock the vote.
Register to vote.
Every one of those processes is different, and the way New York came online was different than Indiana, was different than Colorado, was different than Pennsylvania, and to your point, every state is a little bit nuanced in the way they put those rules together and what kinds of bets you can take, the manner with which you do. And so it's complicated. And that's both complicated from working with the regulators and working with the lawmakers. And the tech is also complicated, too, because you have to get that right and you can't screw it up. But the more interesting side of your question, what's it like working in a blue sky industry? It kicks ass. Like, it's amazing. This is, since the repeal of prohibition, maybe cannabis a little bit. Like, there just aren't really good parallels to a market that is vast. People were sports betting America before legalized sports betting. It's just now they're doing it in a protected and innovative and fun way. And to be turning that into a white market for the first time is a super privilege. I feel thrilled to be at FanDuel. I feel thrilled with the success that we've had, and it keeps it interesting, that's to be sure.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, too, to see like what you guys end up doing, what you choose not to do, because history will judge it back, right? Looking back, that'll be the thing. Because this is going to last forever. Just like you said, people have been doing it forever, and every single time a government, it feels like, or a state gets a chance to see the benefits financially of legalizing it, I think that's only going to spread and grow. And what you just said about it being safe, and I think that is good comparison to the cannabis industry. Like the states where the scientists are growing the weed and the sales are being regulated and there's like security there is so much safer than when people are just going in to buy maybe some grass somewhere with no security at all. It's like sports gambling has gotten a lot better in my eyes when it's gotten legalized. You know you're going to get paid.
Yep.
You know that the bets are going to be like looked at and offered. It's like, it's a beautiful thing. And also, you guys being big entities, like you can boost odds that we would never been able to get from. It's an incredible thing.
It's above board. You're going to get your money. We take things like responsible gambling seriously, and it's more fun. Our product is way better. The way the betting is more entertaining. It's more fun.
Well, speaking of, because you guys have to save people from themselves. Like that is something that has to happen. You talk about responsible gaming. Like that's a big initiative by all the governments, I believe, right? All the states, basically, whenever you're talking to them, like we don't want people to turn into things. So when people are losing too much, shutting down the account actually happens. Keeping people within their bet limits is a very real thing. I'm allowed to bet on things higher than Connor is able to bet on things because my normal bet amount, what's in my account, what I normally do. You can't just one day I want to make a $30,000 bet and lose everything. It's like, well, you can't do that. Like that is not something you do. People get pissed off about that because they can't win as much, but also it's to keep people.
It's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's the way we run our business. I will say, I did pull, and yes, you guys have different amounts that you bet, but obviously you guys are trying to win off us all the time. You are also some of our best customers. I did pull all of your accounts before I came on the show.
Who's won the most?
Do you want to know who's the sharpest gambler?
Yeah.
It's Ty.
Wow.
Let's go!
Baseball season a couple years back.
Let's go!
Who's the worst?
Might be me.
It's probably me.
No, it's not Pat.
It's definitely me.
Gotta be me.
It's Connor.
Yeah!
You're too loyal to Boston, man. You gotta
doesn't
spread
matter.
it around. You gotta spread it
I'm
around.
gonna let you know, I've been experiencing. I assume Foxy's the second worst. Foxy's the second worst?
Zito.
Bears last year got me.
So I haven't.
We need a full rankings.
I haven't rode alongside Zito, but I have rode alongside Connor during his terrible times and Foxy during his terrible times. Seems like you guys dragged me down into this, but I want to let you know your next bet, your best bet.
Yeah, I like betting plus
Speaking of-
25,000 bets.
Hey,
Sue me.
Speaking of bet, I think right now for the next 56 minutes at FanDuel right now because of old Big Raf. They're giving away a free bet right now, right?
Yeah, look, I wanted to celebrate coming down to see you guys. And so, yeah, for the next hour, literally anybody, log into the Sportsbook. We'll have a claim game that you go in, and it's a free bet. Everybody can get it for the next hour until 1:30 Eastern Standard.
Now, the free bet will obviously change with what your normal betting habit is.
It'll be, but depending on who you are, it could be $5, could be up to $100.
Thank you, Raf.
Thank you, Raf.
You got 55 minutes to do this. Make sure you get in there, get a free bet from Big Raf. That is awesome. You came through here. We did not know that was going to take place until this morning, so that's fantastic. Your people made a great graphic, too. Look at that. Made me look handsome. Love that. Shout out to you, Raf. You're the best. Let's keep it moving here. So whenever we do that Super Bowl and we have that same game parlay, and there's like 200 and whatever thousand people riding alongside of us, you guys at every single department at FanDuel goes, all right, if this hits, we're fucked. Like if this one hits, we're in trouble for that. Is that something that happens? And
100%.
Okay, good.
I shit you not. So I was at the game. We were in a suite with a lot of the executives at FanDuel, and you had over 200,000 people riding on your same game parlay with the Super Bowl. And it was 3 yards away from Burrow. I think it was going to be 3 yards. It was away, and we were getting down to the wire. We are very confident in the global history of gambling. There has never been a bigger liability on a parlay bet than there was in this Super Bowl. We would have lost nearly $50 million
Jesus.
on one bet.
How good of a... That would be a world record then, right?
Yeah.
If we would have hit that, that would have been a world record. Yeah. So Joe Burrow, instead of throwing that ball in that last play where Aaron Donald is out, if Aaron Donald literally just shoves him and Joe Burrow is able to keep his balance and pick up first down and get out of bounds there or something like that.
Yeah. It would like literally we were sweating it. And it was the last few plays of the game. We're in that suite. We're dying.
Oh,
we're dying.
We were too. You should see what Yeah, we were dying as well. We were hoping to hit that. It is so whenever you guys kind of have a good handle on where the handle is. You guys have a pretty good feel every single night, every single day. Is that something that's conscientious? Like, hey, this is doing well, this is not doing well. Yeah. This feels like teams that they're betting on. NFL's the best sport by far. What's the next sport?
So we will never acquire more customers. So people coming in to try sports betting for the first time, NFL is the biggest sport. Actually, more money happens on the NBA.
Because there's more games, more action?
More inventory.
People are bored.
Yeah, well, there's a lot more games to bet on relative than the NFL.
How do you guys do in the NBA? You guys feel like you do pretty well in that, or is there some times where you guys are down, sometimes you guys are out? Like, how often does the house always win? You guys always beat us?
I have days where I look at every morning. I get a flash report how the business do yesterday, and there are days where our business loses money.
We need that to happen more often.
Yeah, we do.
I'll stop betting.
We do.
Thank you, Connor.
No problem.
Thank you
No
for
problem.
your service.
I'll stop.
Zito, you too. More ties, less Connors and Zitos. As you project, like how many states is it legal in right now, online sports gambling?
50.
15.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How many to get to 50 will it ever get to 50?
I don't think it'll ever get to 50. Like you have states like Utah, like it's literally the state constitution, like outlaws gambling. Like you won't get there, but you will absolutely have a majority of the United States. You know, California coming online is a huge chunk, obviously, of the population. And so I think you'll see a continued steady pace for the next few years. And then you'll get to close to a critical mass. But my hunch would be no, you won't get to all 50.
You think COVID expedited everything because people are using their phones for everything? I mean, they're ordering groceries, they're ordering food on their phone, the natural gambling on your phone. Whenever things came back to gamble upon, it almost like changed people's habits. I feel like that helped out a lot. Not that COVID's good. Not saying COVID is good. No. COVID is terrible. COVID's an asshole that we fucking beat finally.
Hell yeah.
Lost a lot of great people out there. Did not like it, do not like it. We'll look back on it as a terrible time in the history, but I do believe it changed people's patterns and trends of what they did on a daily basis. Everything's done on your phone now. It feels like that only helped online sports gambling or...
Yeah, I think from twofold. From what you're talking about, which is just consumers more and more being at home, using their phone, doing things online. I'd also just say, honestly, from like a state municipal budgets, like they needed tax revenue. And like this is a very interesting new source of tax revenue when the economy was shut down. So both of those things really helped. And we talk about this in the lawmaking process, this is really common sense legislation. Like everybody pretty much wants it to happen. It's taking a black market that is unregulated and unsafe into a safe and regulated environment and creates new tax revenue for the state. it's very common sense.
Is that the pitch right there? And are you a part of
Was.
the pitch, or who does the pitch? Do you have to have each individual people in states, or what?
I don't run. So one of my partners, Christian Ganetsky, that runs a lot of our business relationships in our legal department, he has really orchestrated, I think, literally one of the best, lobbying and lawmaking partnership organizations on a state-by-state basis in the country. And we run that across all the states.
And it's not just getting them legalized in the states. And you said it earlier, but I would like to harp on it because we get a lot of tweets about this where like one of our booths won't be available in New Jersey or it won't be available in New York or whatever. It literally varies state to state on what's allowed and what's not allowed. Yeah. Normally the newer states, if I'm not mistaken, just from our experience here, they're a little bit harsher early, and then they kind of, I think, get sick of having to answer every single boost question. They kind of open it up a little bit. So it's almost feels like every state's a little tighter at the beginning, then they loosen up. Is that an accurate read on it?
Yeah, I think that's generally true. I think it tends to be a little bit more restrictive, and then over time, as the state gets comfortable, we build a good relationship with our regulating partners, which is really important for us, and they see that, it's making a lot of sense, or people are enjoying it. Yeah, it does tend to open up a bit more so over time. But yeah, there's always some peccadillo where one state does it one way and slightly different another, which makes the kinds of things that we want to do together a little bit more challenging. But yeah,
it's awesome because I'll pitch something and he'll come back. We can't do it in these 3 states. And my first reaction was, well, that's fucking on them. All right, that's on those states. Let's do it for everybody else. And then Raf's like, yeah, but we're going to piss off our customers in those states pretty bad. And I was like, well, I guess we're going to piss off our fans in those states as well. But can't we just tell them, like, hey, this isn't us. It's not our fault you can't come to the party. There's regulators that are in there. I think that is a tough thing for people to really understand.
I mean, people don't care. People care. What did you say? What did I say? And what am I getting in the app? And at the end of the day, we got to own what that customer experience is, and it's our job, FanDuel's job, to work through those regulatory challenges to make it as easy on customers as possible. And that is why people like FanDuel, because we do things like that all the time. It is really important to me that our offers, our odds boosts, our partnerships are as user-friendly as possible, because that's part of the secret sauce of why we're winning.
The customer experience, I think, is the biggest difference. I mean, it's so easy. Yeah. Everything is just right there, and it's only gotten better and better as the days have gone on. How do you guys not rest on your laurels? You said you got a 50% stake over at first place or whatever.
Yeah.
Still driving over there. How motivated culture? You know that there's a lot of shit still to do over there?
There's a ton. We are still in the very early innings of legal sports betting. And by the way, sports betting is just one of a number of businesses we're in.
I'm going to let you know, I did not know you guys are in first place by 50%. Your anxiety on some things needs to stop. I did not know
you are a former professional athlete any given Sunday, and that's how I feel.
That is literally how you act on everything.
That is literally how I feel.
Everything. It's I'll say something, I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's fucking go take it over. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Previous performance does not indicate anything in the future, but I feel like we got a pretty good grasp. I'm like, fucking Raph, let's go. We're going to do it or whatever. That's you. I feel like you and Amy are the perfect people for this right now, because you do have that. I don't want to say anxiety is a bad thing, but you do have that
healthy paranoia.
Yeah, it's like every single day.
Paranoia.
It's like, oh fuck, well if we don't do that, we're going to do that, because it is a very competitive market right now, right? It feels like it.
It's, I think, one of the most competitive industries in the United States, literally, and we got to go earn it every day. And by the way, every time we launch a new state, we start at 0.
Yeah,
we got to go win every time, so that's part of it too.
You guys are winning, man.
Yeah,
we're lucky to be a part of the ride, and we're also lucky, I guess, to just lose all the fucking. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did, but I mean,
it's from the person that runs the app. Look, I looked at. You're a bod gambler.
I've been a bod gambler, but I love FanDuel. I like giving back to the people that support us. Sue me about that too.
They are very nice. You guys have been very incredible to us. You always have been open, and even. There's a lot of people in there. I don't know whose names I should let out or shouldn't let out. But Peck and John, that entire operation over there. I love, there was a call, 2 weeks ago? You're fucking us. I'm like, literally, hey, you're fucking us, Peck. You're fucking. I saw him, genuinely feel bad almost about it. And then I know he gets off the call and he's like, hey, we're beating them bad. They're getting upset over there. It's a lot of good folks in there, man. It really does feel like a cool group of people, which I think is even better than the fact that you guys are doing well. It's like, all right, there's some good people running that shit as well, which I think is what we appreciate. Go ahead, Dahn.
Raph, I got a few things that I hear all the time about tech for the app. Can I ask you about that?
Hey, light on me.
Okay. Is there any way, when we place a bet, if you are following a game in the ESPN app, you get score updates. So if you place a bet on a game, score updates. Is there any chance for that? Is there any? I know you guys did.
Isn't there some of them that you have?
Yeah, we have that. We'll have score updates, and we'll also have if you have a set of prop bets, we'll actually track those props live in your account, so you can follow them along. But there's more on the front I think we can do, Tone. We talk a lot about the app switching experience, where right now, let's say you're on the FanDuel app and you want to go to a certain box score and you got to flip to ESPN or Yahoo or somewhere else, and you got to go back. We should make that simpler. Let's just say that's on.
But that's a lot of tech, right?
That's a lot of tech. I think we have by far the best in the industry at being able to follow scores and how your bets are tracking, particularly if you do like a parlay in each leg, how it's coming along.
Oh, yeah,
we
had
that? Yeah, it's fun.
We had 3 checks.
But we can be doing more, so I appreciate that.
And then you guys did like a Spotify year-end thing, which was really cool for that. Is there any way like that record tracking will ever be with like in your account? I know you can see like how much you've won money-wise lifetime, but ever like record-wise or parlays, teaser, stuff like that?
I think we want to do. So I was blown away at how popular that year-end was.
Awesome.
It was probably our single most engaged CRM campaign. And by the way, I give out free money in our emails a lot. And it was one of the most engaged things we've ever done, just because people were really interested in it. And we talked a lot about like personalizing the app. I don't think we've made as much progress on that front as I'd like to. And so showing you a little bit more information about the way you've played, being able to suggest things that you might not otherwise be seeing. Like a lot of that is in our thinking.
Well, figure it out, Raph.
It's complicated, Pat. It takes a minute.
I know. I got a wireframe of an app I built 10 years ago. I couldn't even imagine the amount, plus the security in there.
Yeah.
Because the amount of coding almost that has to take place for everything that's added in there. I forget what I pitched to you guys one time. Can we get that up by like 4 o'clock today or whatever? Well, maybe the next time. Now we currently have to build that entire thing. It might take us a little bit. We will stop everything else we were doing. We will try to build it, but it is the depth of the app, just the ability and the amount of bets. Like having that many bets, and I don't go anywhere else, so I don't know if that's the case. It feels like you guys have more ways to win was your kind of thing. But right now, method of score, method of first score, there's like some plus 15,000 odds right now that you guys can just take at any given moment that is very easy to find as well. How much of that goes into the thought process of design, and how much of that is in the thought like, hey, we should have bets for everything that we can potentially get regulated to have bets on?
So it's something like we're very proud of. We call them markets, things you can bet on. There are more markets you can bet on FanDuel than in any other legal sportsbook in the United States. It's a huge part of the design philosophy. And people don't know this. Part of that reason is we have our own risk and trading. It's a global practice. We're part of a bigger international company called Flutter. And those are the guys you mentioned. John Sheeran, who was on the show, I think, a couple weeks ago. He apologized to Megan, speaking ill of Tone. I thought it was really inappropriate. We disciplined him afterwards.
No.
Yeah,
he should have buried him more. He should
promoted.
have buried him more, but he did give away a bet.
That
lost.
Yeah, it didn't hit.
Sure did.
So that was more disrespectful.
Company man.
Yeah, what he did the next day was more disrespectful than what he said to Tone. Anyways,
John Sheeran, Peck, the guy that we talk about a lot, they're part of an organization called Risk and Trading. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of people who are the ones who are the first to set lines in markets. We are proprietary. We own those people. We employ those people. Other companies almost universally essentially go through a third party. So their odds are all a version of the same thing. And they're not able to be as expansive with markets and do things that we can. And so that's a huge part of the way that we
hiring smart, because I think the way John talked about it is we have a talented this team that is setting the market in basketball or whatever. I just assumed it was all computers that were setting the markets.
So there's an algorithm that sort of like will set the initial sort of point, but then there are what we call literal traders, and it's kind of like Wall Street trading. There's a floor of people that look at the news and watch games, and they'll look. One things we'll take in is if there's like a few really, really, really sharp bettors on our platform, and they start doing things, we'll take a look at him. Yeah, if Ty does something, maybe he's in the list now. And so like they're literally, it's a term of art, they'll nudge. That's what they call it, nudge the line, where it might go a little bit this way or a little bit that way versus what the computer said we should do.
So there's a human element that we're trying to beat in there. John and his team.
Good to know.
Yeah, they're all on the floor out there just yelling out things. Yeah. Sharp Ty?
Raph, you guys have the Sportsbook in the Suns arena, and then I believe the Yankees are now like an official partner. How close are we to like you being able to go to Yankee Stadium and having like the tech and being able to just put bets in there?
Kentucky Derby style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And is it the type of thing where in a couple years, like every sports team will have an exclusive partnership with one sportsbook or another?
And what does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, look, I would say two separate questions. Most sports team will have a sports betting relationship. We're really proud of the set of relationships we have with everybody from, the Yankees to the Colts to
Bills now.
the Bills. Yes, thank
Suns.
you. The Suns. It kind of the list goes on down. The Bulls, the Blackhawks. That is mostly a promotional marketing relationship where we get to use their IP and our creative, our advertising. We market to their database. On the retail sportsbook question, that gets back to the regulatory conversation we had. That's broadly dictated by the laws and the regulation. You're either allowed to take a physical sports bet in a sports facility or you're not. Most of the time and in most of the laws, you need to already have been a gambling establishment, either a racetrack or a casino, to have a physical book. There have been a few places
That's
where...
why Derby's Derby.
Yeah.
All right, that makes
There have
sense.
been a few places where they're starting to open up interest in having a retail book, which we think is really exciting. Phoenix Suns being one of the most premium luxury experiences that we have, and we're really excited to do that in the Footprint Arena. I do think over time you'll see more of that, but there's 90% of all the bets we take are online. So at the end of the day, like the business really is on your phone, and even if you're sitting in a stand and you've got this in your pocket, you can place a bet there. So it's a pretty good experience. What I get interested in is beyond a physical teller and placing a bet, what is a super premium or luxury experience that would make being a sports book different from what you have in your mind of like a Vegas sports book, but being at a retail stadium? What is something really unique in that space that we can create? It's another thing that we're trying to kind of work through, but my sense is that'll be slower than the rollout of online gambling at large. We'll be putting physical books in retail arenas.
Are you giving out free bets in these stadiums that you guys are the official sponsors of with a QR code for them to download the app and just get into a free bet because they're there?
Yeah, we do all kinds of things with our stadium partners. Some of that is giving out free bets. We've done things physically around that kind of moment of entry when you give your ticket and you get something upon entry. So we do a lot of different things.
Yeah, because baseball, I think, as somebody that's not the biggest fan of baseball, one of my favorite things to do is bet whether or not the ball is going to end up in the dirt or the grass at the end of the inning.
Yeah.
And then, as the game continues to go on, you start thinking to yourself, all right, I'll bet you $2. Is it a strike? No, this is a ball. And then you start betting on like the individual things. It feels like that makes the game a lot better in person. Is that ever going to be able to go to a bigger scale? Is that already happening that I don't know about?
I think it starts to happen. One of my favorite experiences of what you're talking about is in golf. Closest to the pin.
Yes.
There is nothing better than sitting at a green and like each group of golfers that's coming up and you can bet closest to the pin. That's a really fun experience. That is, I think it's doing that live is one of the better betting experiences that I've had.
You guys have that already or no? You're talking about Inhuman.
Yeah, no, we have that. We have that. We offer that.
Okay.
Byron
serious?
Nelson this
Yeah,
weekend.
no, we've taken bets. This has been for years in golf. It's one of the best, I think, live bets that you can make.
So I can follow along this weekend with the Byron Nelson, AT&T Byron Nelson down in Dallas. And when our guy, Justin Thomas, is close, we can go closest to the pin on a par 3 or
I don't want
from
to
the
tell you
fairway?
lies. I don't know if it's every single tournament event, but I know the marketing.
You have the availability.
Okay.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead, Tone.
Just on the live betting thing, like, do you guys talk about or how much of a conversation is like now that a lot of people are going from cable to streaming platforms, we're like 30, 40 seconds behind on live betting? Like, what's the conversation around that?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time.
Okay.
I think that, look, there's an obvious shift from...
Yeah, because I'm on Hulu and it is.
We're behind.
You guys are changing the odds. And I'm like, whoa, something must have happened. Something must have happened.
It's every single league.
That's impossible to keep up with, I guess, for you guys.
Every single
Hey,
league.
figure it out.
I'm trying, man. There's a lot going on. Every single league is aware of this. And obviously, the two probably most disruptive forces in sports right now are gaming and the move from linear to digital eyeballs in terms of viewership. Like it's a given. And so the latency issue when it comes to gaming is something that we need to figure out. That is, again, we're partners hugely with the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, the NHL, all of them. I think they're aware of this and figuring it out with their broadcasting partners. And as more and more people move to things like Hulu and other OTT and digital solutions, it'll be a part of what will be very important to get right.
My wife loves the live betting. Like, my wife is one of the biggest sports gamers. I assume if you looked up her account, it'd be pretty active. She does like $2 $5 bets or whatever.
I pulled Sam's account. She's in the middle of the pack.
She's pretty good.
Yeah, she's pretty sharp.
But she knows nothing about the sports that we're watching. She just wants to bet on it so she has something to do because she's forced to watch these sports basically because I have to. But she's a football fan, but NBA, not so much. If I turn on the NHL, she is a Pens fan all of a sudden out of this, but it has made that experience. I feel like that is a market that should be tapped into, I think, honestly. Yeah, like the significant others of people that have been forced to watch sports or whatever. It's like, hey,
Look,
it is now a scratch-off event for you.
Yeah.
You could potentially make money.
This is something we talk a lot about in the building. I'll give you 2 points of interest. Sports fandom is not gendered.
No.
Broadly, about 50-50. Maybe a little, depending on the sport, a little more, a little less, but it's probably about 50-50. Gambling is also about 50-50.
Yeah.
Sports betting has not followed that trajectory historically, but we are seeing some of those shifts. And I think there's a huge market in women that love sports or their partners really love sports and it's a fun hobby. It's maybe not something they have the same history with, where I think guys have typically had either an offshore account or a bookie or what have you that's been more culturally, I think, something that men did. But women are very interested in sports betting, and you would be surprised the percentage of women that we sign up as kind of new customers is meaningfully high.
Yes.
On the sportsbook.
My wife tries to tell all of her friends, like, hey, you're going to go to the Colts game this weekend just because it's something to do. Like, you might as well put like $25 on it. So you actually are invested a little bit while you're boozing. You might win in this entire thing. It's just, it is. It's very funny. My wife, she won't tell me her bets sometimes. Like, I'm like, what is your deal? Like, well, when I tell you I lose, I'm like, oh, you're like getting into this. Like, you know, and then if I say something, she'll like take it into account. She's like, but you've been losing lately, right? Like, I'm like, oh, okay, so you're really, now you're becoming like a full-time gambler. It's a fantastic thing. I think what our relationship has brought us, we cannot thank you enough for. I mean, it has been fantastic. We're about to go off the air here on Sirius, but the conversation will continue on YouTube. You guys have been very nice to us. Now, granted, we did have like 200-some thousand people tailing us. Yeah, you know, and you know, I feel like we have donated a lot of money through Connor and Zero's accounts. But it's been a perfect relationship for us. Honestly, it truly has been.
Well, look, the feeling's completely mutual. You guys are, one, just a lot of fun to work with. But again, like I said before, it's a real partnership. And I feel like we make each other better. So I'm super appreciative of it.
Yeah, and I would never want to have to deal with any of the shit that you have to do. Oh, God. You know, like so it's like a perfect thing. Like, hey, do you want to... Because whenever there was a chance of our new deal coming up, there was obviously conversations about people wanting to invest and buy and me be a part of it all. And I was like, I do not want to do those conversations. We just had a heart out there. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, when you see those massive bets on like social media, and I mean, those are the only bets I do. I've never won one. But when you see them on there, is that something you like? Because I mean, there was that's how I found out about like the method of first basket. Yeah. Like, does it suck because you're losing money, but is it also good because it like spreads the word about like what bets are out there on FanDuel?
You're our biggest loser, so
by far, I think too. I think he was kind of generous about it.
After the show, we're gonna throw Connor some house credits to make up for it. But
fucking finally, Jesus!
Hey, good gambler.
I'm about to be a good gambler again.
Played the long game.
Yeah, look, I mean, social. You guys are the masters of the internet culture and social media more so than anybody else in the room. But I love when people are talking about their bets, the big bets. One of the, I think, really interesting, things that I see is not just the, large wagers, but people love following a parlay and the busted the 5 or 6 leg parlay that you missed by one.
Yeah,
It's entertainment. It's fun. And obviously more fun to win, but like when you almost win, like that has a similar psychological effect. Like there's good social and psychological science behind this. The entertainment value you get from betting, almost winning is not massively different from winning in terms of the amount of enjoyment you get in the build up throughout the game. And so when I see people talking about it, I think word of mouth and referrals probably our number one source of new customer acquisition. And I firmly believe that there's not a gambler in this country that doesn't have a group message text thread with his pals bullshitting about the bets that they're making. And so the more that FanDuel can do to encourage that, participate in that, social media being a huge component of it, like that's an explicit part of our strategy. And one of the things I think makes you guys so successful.
Oh, you guys are humans too. Like I feel like you recognize the joy that comes from hitting a massive bet. So like you guys have reached out to us numerous times like, hey, this dude just changed his whole life, just hit for 15,000 if you want to talk about him, or 20,000 or whatever. This guy just got like a 20 leg parlay that hit us for 25 grand. Just got out of debt for his whole family. Like there's those magical moments too that I feel like you guys get genuine joy from, and I think it's cool shit. We're very lucky to work with you, man. We appreciate the hell out of you.
I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for coming out to America too.
Hey, seriously.
Out here to Indiana. Thanks for making the trip out.
It's good to see God's country.
Yeah, here it is.
Right.
Yeah, breathe
Right.
it in. A little humid, a little thick here.
humid.
Clean air though.
Yeah, clean. Well,
For now.
you hear this. I mean, there's a lot
A lot
cooking
of
out
those
there.
warehouses.
We appreciate you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, CMO, man who is tasked with running FanDuel alongside Amy Howe, Mike Raffensperger.
Yeah, boy!
We're back.